Alrighty, guys, welcome back to Two Homos, 100 Thoughts. Thanks for coming back and checking us out. It's Armando from Dallas,
And this is Raciel from Chicago.
the Chicago host. They have to catch the wind to get here, but
Get the fuck out of here.
I really get cut out.
No, don't cut that out. Don't cut that out. I'm like,
Right.
we're 10 seconds in and you're already coming for me.
Anyways, alrighty, you guys. So in this episode, we're gonna be reviewing the season premiere to the Jersey Housewives or Housewives of New Jersey. It just aired, and let's get started.
Okay, like first minute starts off with the Jackie and Teresa sit down at Margaret's. And did you see the unedited version? Well, not the unedited, the uncensored version on Twitter.
Yes. You tagged me on it, and I was living.
Yes.
You tagged me on it before it aired.
Like it starts with them arguing, and then Teresa walks out with her cunt, and I'm living for that. And then Margaret with her face expression though.
Yes, she was so scared.
And then it says 3 days earlier, which I'm glad it said days and not like weeks. So I'm like, okay, shit. I'm like, they're getting into it from the start, right from the beginning of filming. So,
right.
The episode starts with like Jackie and her husband that everyone thinks is hot. I don't really get it. Like, I think he's okay. I don't know.
I feel like he's cuter than Mauricio. I don't see what people see in Mauricio, but
okay, I'll give him that. Okay, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts off with like all of them, like there's shots at their house, like Melissa talking to Joe about Margaret's tits getting done, and then Dolores getting her ass done, and then like Jennifer and her husband are saying how the gang is like, they're like, I guess Jackie's planning a party for Evan right away, which I love because, I like that they're already getting into group scenes, because I don't like the more like home scenes. I mean, I do like seeing them, like what they're going through at home and all that. But, I love the group scenes just because that's the dynamic. That's the point of the show. So Margaret is talking about her tits right away, saying they hope Jen doesn't cause drama calling out Melissa and like by calling out Melissa on her fake crap, what do you think about that? Like with the whole Jen and Melissa of it all?
I mean, she could just be putting it on for the cameras. At the end of the day, these two know each other,
She's totally self-absorbed. I like Melissa. I think she'd be better as a front row just because I don't feel like her storylines really do it anymore. Like, I don't feel like they're that authentic. Like last season, she was saying how she wanted a kid, and even her kids are like, "Mom, you're not gonna have a kid." Like, stop. And then like a couple seasons ago, about like having like a long lost sister, and then like even like during the pandemic, there's like paparazzi shots of her at her mailbox. Like, really, is there really paparazzi in New Jersey? So yeah, I would say she's a little self-absorbed, and I like Jen. Unpopular opinion, I do like Jen. I think she's hilarious. Like even from the beginning, how she was like when they went to Oklahoma with her in her 16 bathrooms.
yes, that was iconic. Yes, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about Jen. Honestly, like she is a little too like very new money. You know what I mean? Like.
And then she did win me over last season with her storyline about her brother and like her and her daughter calling out their mom on her homophobia. I feel like that's kind of, she grew on me more, even though she kind of had me from the start, that she just grew on me more, and then, so, okay, let's keep going into the episode. Sorry, sidetrack, guys. So Gio's on the phone telling her mom to drink tequila, blah, blah. Like, I forgot what they were talking about. She's just kind of like just talking to Gio, and then like the party starting, which I like, the party starting right away. They're kind of just jumping into the group scenes, which I love. Melissa shows up. I wrote down in my notes. Melissa shows up to the party looking like a 16-year-old who bought her dress from Deb.
Deb.
Like, she looks good. Don't get me wrong. She looks good, but she looks like a 16-year-old. Like, you know how she reminds me of a little, Shayna from Vanderpump Rules?
Shayna from Vanderpump Rules?
Yeah, I feel like her style reminds me of Shayna's. Just because they like dress like teenagers.
Okay, I don't know Vanderpump Rules by name, but isn't that the one that Brandy's husband straight? Okay, I got it. Yeah, a little bit, yes.
Just style-wise.
Style-wise, yes. Maybe she belongs on Vanderpump Rules. Make her be a server,
She wouldn't even serve in the restaurant that they
at her own
restaurant. At her own restaurant.
And now I'm asking myself, did I really like not see her being self-absorbed at her own restaurant, showing up late?
And then what's it called? Was it Bill and Jen that they were saying when they were talking about Dolores coming drunk? Who do you think she's going to show up with, Frank or David? and they already know. They're like, she's gonna show up with Frank. With Frank. Who would you rather her be with, Frank or David?
I honestly want to say I'm Team David, just because David hasn't cheated on her. I want to say Frank.
Okay,
Frank technically cheated on her. If you want to say it like that, Frank technically cheated on her, even though he's good dad and they live together, roomies apparently. But I don't know. I'm Team David. Comment below. Are you Team David or Team Frank?
I'm Team none of them. I think Dolores is hot, and I think she can get any guy, and she does not take shit. She got an honorable mention from the previous video. I feel like she's one of the top ones just because I loved when she came for Margaret. I mean, not for Margaret, for Danielle. Like, welcome back, scumbag. Like, that's one of those things. We should do a drinking game to every time Dolores mentions that they're old school Italians.
Old school Italian. We're gonna get alcohol poisoning by the end of that. She says it just way too often. Like, Jackie is in my cloth or whatever. She's not an old school Italian, and it's like,
yes.
Like, forgive her for not being raised by wolves, bitch. Like,
so then, okay, back to the episode. So they're at the party. Everyone's showing up. I also wrote that Jen and her husband were the only ones who showed up with the mask on. Because we are in a panorama, so
a panorama.
We're in a paragraph, so I try to forget it because these are my escapist shows, but then you can't help but think when they're like in a huge group and you're like, okay, like why are all these people gathered? You know what I mean? But it's okay. It's okay. Risk your life to give me good TV. I don't mind it.
right. Give me good TV. Yes.
Exactly. And then, like Margaret started suggesting how they take a trip to the lake. And then Melissa's dumbass, she says, why don't we take a trip to Vegas?
She had to be reminded. I feel like she was not quarantining before this. Envy by Melissa Gorgas, probably open, no mask required. Come on in.
Fitting rooms open. Who needs hand sanitizer? No shields, nothing. Like none of that. And then okay, do you notice that like the Jersey housewives kind of get the crappiest vacations out of all the housewives? Like they're always somewhere. And I don't know why. They probably like don't care where they go as long as that budget probably goes to their paycheck.
Probably, but I will never forget the season. I know I'm sidetracking again, but where they all got in RVs rather than booking flights. Like went across the country in the dang RV all the way from Jersey to Napa Valley, California.
Jackie says how it's been like a crappy decade for Teresa. So she's like trying to be nice to Teresa, and before she doesn't even know that Teresa's gossiping about her at this party, about her husband. Do you think Teresa's wrong?
For sure. I mean, there's one thing, if you hear and you think your friend deserves to know that, I see. You pull them aside and maybe, you text them, like, I'm about to tell you some shit in front of a camera. But it was a man's birthday party, and she had to have known that other people were listening other than the cast.
Yeah, she was like literally pulling everyone like, oh, did you hear about this? Did you? And then she's like, she wants to go grab Dolores, and it's like, girl, what are you doing? But that's what I love about it.
I mean, when she told Dolores, sorry to interrupt, but when she told Dolores was with a group of other people who like aren't housewives, she was talking to other people,
right?
And Teresa's asking her in front of them, and I'm just like, this is gonna get bad.
I love that though. I love a bitch with no self-awareness, because literally when you apply to be a Real Housewife, I'm sure in the application it says, do you have any self-awareness? And they say no, and they're like, okay, you're casted.
You're casted. You're in.
For sure.
Yes.
And then like Jackie's giving a drunk speech about how saying she finally is gonna give her husband a blowjob. Like, poor guy. Like, you really don't think she doesn't give him blowjobs?
Maybe like once before, and that was it. I mean, I can get that that's not everyone's thing. I guess I can get that, but
I can't relate.
I'm a little too understanding when it comes to that. But
yeah, I don't know. Not gonna lie. One of my highlights of this party was like the aftermath. The next morning when they're talking about it, and then Jenna and her husband show pictures of how drunk her husband was, and his shirt's like all unbuttoned. He's like staring at the camera.
Yes. And she's like striking a pose like next to her husband like that. Like, I just would have pushed them and shook my pose by myself.
Okay, so like
that's funny.
It goes so everything, like they're just talking about everything the next morning, and then Margaret's still on her home renovations. Like, I swear this lady has been doing home renovations since we met her in season 8.
No, that's why she came on season 8. Someone has to pay for those renovations, Rafael. Like,
And apparently, Bravo apparently isn't paying enough either because it's been what 4 years and still the home's not done. Do you think her mom is like one of those moms, like a Mama D, a Mama Joyce, a Dale?
they're trying with her, I feel like. It's just like I feel like they were kind of trying to do that with Teresa's parents, like may they rest in peace. But I think that with her mom, I don't think she's quite there, like being like a Mama D or a Mama Joyce, as you're mentioning. I don't think she has it to do that.
No, I don't think so either. I feel like she, out of all of them, all the moms probably, but I don't think she's like up there with like Dale. Oh my God, Dale Tinsley's mom.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And then that's how, like, going off topic, that's how I feel like they're trying to do Lois, Lisa Rinna's mom too. Like, she's not gonna happen. Like, sweet woman, looks like a sweet woman, but she's not a Mama dear.
I don't think so either. Like, I don't know. And then like when you think of Mama Joyce, Mama D, you think of these like strong characters, like as soon as they walk in the room, they dominate.
Who don't give a rip.
Yeah, so they dominate the room, like I raised my daughter to be a millionaire. And I don't see it with this lady. I'm sorry, I just don't.
I don't see it either. She's cute though. She's cute, like once we were talking and how you said how she like got her little condo in the city and was doing her thing,
Yes, I like that, yeah.
It goes to Joe and Melissa's house, and Joe is like saying how they just start talking, and Joe always has to say something misogynistic every episode, and saying how he doesn't want his daughter dating and wanting to dress, and he wants her to dress like a nun if it was up to him, and it's like
that's very misogynistic because I feel like in previous episodes when his kids or like when his boys are super young, he's like, you're gonna grow up and have a lot of women or comments like that. But with a daughter, it's like you're gonna be dressed in a nun, like a nun.
Right. I don't get that. It goes to Dolores and her Elmer Fudd looking boyfriend, David, and he like starts going in on her about her surgery. And it's like, boy, like stop. Like she knows what she's doing. She can do whatever she wants. I still love the moment when, remember the episode where her and Siggy were introduced, and Siggy, I hate her, but she like went in like with her neck lifts and she was like sipping soup from a straw.
Yeah.
That was probably one, as much as I don't care for Siggy, I think that was one of the best intros ever of meeting a housewife, with her neck lift and her head wrap and her drinking soup from a straw.
I don't know. I never really liked Siggy either. And like, I don't know how those two ever got along, to be honest. Siggy and Dolores, or how they became close friends. That was such a weird, odd matchup to me.
It was, and not gonna lie, Siggy had a really good first season, but then like she just lost her shit,
She did, for sure.
She lost her shit, and she's still losing her shit apparently, like she apparently was at the Capitol and she did you see that?
I did see that. I saw she was posting pictures about it, and
it looked like her, and I'm sure it was her because
I'm pretty sure.
And then when they like, I do not miss. Do you miss Rosie or Kathy on the show? I don't. Like I don't care.
I mean, I feel like with Melissa, I liked them because they came on the show behind Teresa's back, and they kind of shook Teresa's world, and it made her the icon she is today, kind of, But other than that, like I'm good with just Melissa, like Kathy and Richie. Like I just never really vibed with them. Like every time Richie would get on camera, it's like, what the heck are you even saying?
He's the worst. He is disgusting. Yeah. He is the worst. Like honestly, I don't like him. Like I don't like him. So, back on track. So, it goes to Jennifer and like her family, like having that dinner, how she like took in her dad. Not gonna lie, I, like you said before, I don't really, it's just an interesting like thing about like the parents not getting along. It's a little weird because they don't believe in divorce, even though clearly it's not working. But not gonna lie, in my notes, all I wrote is that Jen's cooking looks unseasoned and bland. Like that.
No, you did not. I did.
So another note I wrote was that, so it shows a flashback of her and her mom shopping, and in that where they were shopping in the rack that they were looking at, all I saw was a bunch of Giovanni tags. Like, does Giovanni have like a deal with Bravo for product placement? Because that's all I see. Like, you didn't notice that? I had to rewind. You don't know what I'm talking about? From New York. when Lou was like, when it's that Dorinda was like, Giovanni, and she was like screaming it from the audience. You don't remember that? Okay, people come for him because that's iconic. Like attack, like bully him in the comments. Okay.
Bully him in the comments. I
Yes.
honestly might have not watched what you're talking about on New York because New York, I didn't see every single episode. Was that before or after, Bravo would show like those commercials of the bee is back and it was Bethany.
No, this was like 2 seasons ago, or like last season, if anything. It wasn't that long ago.
Because I feel like that season was the only full season that I watched from beginning to end of New York. The rest, I kind of skipped around, watched one episode, came back for the reunion, like didn't even watch the second. Like New York to me is just very bland, but they're not Jersey, that's for sure.
Do you guys see my face? I can't. No, what?
You
Like,
feel tried right now?
yes, I feel like what?
That's funny.
I'm sure everyone feels tried. What?
Oh
You need to
Lord.
watch
Come for
New
me
York from
below.
the beginning. You need to watch New York from the beginning. They have so many good moments. Okay, but guys bully him, and or at least send
thumbs up and I'll watch New York.
or send clips of just New York, like iconic New York moments, because there is so many. Okay.
See, even
so
those I skip, but let's get back on track.
finally, the sit down happens at Margaret's house, where like Jackie calls Teresa for them to sit down because she heard what was going on, and then so Margaret is having them over, and then Margaret has like her creative director, assistant, friend, whatever her name is. I don't know, but you can tell they're trying to make her part of the cast, and to me, it's just not working for me.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Maybe, yeah, because she was like, we're skipping ahead an episode, sorry, but like how they like take her on the trip and stuff like that. But who knows? I just feel like she's not giving me that Marlo front row, you know what I mean? Or even like the Latoya front row. But they start talking, and like Margaret hears like where there's smoke, there's fire, and she's like freaking out in the next room, like pacing back and forth. Like I think that's a moment where she should probably start drinking. She says she doesn't drink, and it's like probably she should pick up drinking.
I would have popped the bottle open at that. Like that was insane.
For sure.
But I did read somewhere where Margaret said that when she went back in the room and it got a little loud between Jackie and Teresa, that's like allegedly like they didn't let her go back to where they were at. They kind of just like blocked off her way and kind of made her wait there to finish the scene. And when she finally broke through, that's when Teresa's leaving, which was, I think that was pretty intense. And
yeah,
I would have wanted to go over there. Yes.
Yes, and then Jackie has been waiting since her first season, for her scene to say that line, "The I have the life you want, I win." Like she went in there like she wrote that on her arm, like she was ready to say that.
Yeah, she practiced that in the mirror.
Yeah, she rehearsed it at home, like she wanted to say that, and then that's when Teresa walks out saying "Cunt, cunt, 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 cunt," and then the episode.
But I want to like Jackie. Like I want her to hold her own. I don't want her to bow to Teresa. Like I really love Teresa. As I said, Teresa's my favorite housewife. But I hate when other like housewives come and they just bow down to the originals, or like they're yes men to them. So I really want to like her. And if she apologizes for that analogy, it's like Jackie's canceled in my book. You stand your ground, girl.
I agree, though. No, I totally agree because like you said, I love Teresa, but I don't like when people just follow someone around. I want someone to challenge them, and I feel like she has been doing that since like her first season.
Because after that, not much happens, right? Like they kind of just start arguing. Teresa walks out with the
and it just goes to the preview for like what's coming up in the season, and I'm really excited for this season.
What are you most excited for to come this season, or what do you want to see out of this season? Like.
Nothing specific. I just feel like even on their like most boring season, they always bring it. These Jersey girls, they always bring it. What I'm looking forward to, I actually want to see what that argument was with Joe and Teresa when like Joe loses it on her about like their mom, just because I wonder what Teresa was defending Joe about, just because I don't like Joe for Teresa. He was the worst to her. Like just bad.
One thing that I want to see play out absolutely, and I know it has something to do with the Jersey Housewives, but I don't know if you follow Teresa's ex-husband, Joe Giudice on Instagram. But he does Giudice, whatever his last name is, but he has been posting a lot of those like pop-up articles on his Instagram. Like he'll post like a comment and then a link to an
Yes.
article, and it'll be like OK Magazine or something like that. And on one of them, he literally put Melissa needs to shut the fuck up, literally. And
I didn't see that.
And he tags Melissa Gorga, and everyone is just like,
He
those are your
tagged
kids.
her.
Literally, Melissa Gorga needs to, and I need to see that on the show because I know Melissa doesn't like that. I don't know how Teresa feels because Teresa might have mentioned about how he sells dildos now or something. But I mean, to me, that's kind of supporting his business when you go on TV and you talk about someone else's business, you know? So it's like this man is also on Instagram trashing your sister-in-law, and
but he is her baby daddy.
That's true. And you know, anyone who messes with Melissa pretty much tickles Teresa's pickle, you know, like she just like lives for that.
Not her pickle. All right, well, that's a wrap, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and don't be too hard on us. We just have opinions. Don't come for us. Or come for him because he hasn't. You know what? I take that back. Come for him because he has not seen.
Come for me. I'll take it. Come for me.
Not me. Don't try me. I mean, I can take it, but don't try it.
Right. You guys can come for me. If you guys like being ignored, just come for me. I'm the one.
Oh no, not me. I'm a troll, so I'm not the one.
You're hilarious. All right, everyone, like, subscribe, and come check us out next week for our next video.